one of the superpowers that you have is doing global deal orchestration and decentralized deal orchestration and working with companies that are very, very big on either local budgets or global budgets and orchestrating the entire thing. Do you have a mindset or a method that you use or go about in order to orchestrate and put together these amazingly successful global deals? And is customers absolutely loving you part of the ground up of you doing that?
Thanks very much for the compliment. I'll send you that $50 later. That's for sure.
No problem.
I appreciate it. It's very kind of you. So I think that in terms of the complexity in the way of selling, I think that you can't do it alone. First of all, so it's not down to me; it's down to the team, down to the people that you work with, and also really just navigating the relationship and navigating the complexity in which people people purchase. So, in terms of like these sort of global companies, for others that are working in similar complex environments, there's so many stakeholders that get involved in deals, and you never really have one central buyer. At least in my experience, I've not had one central buyer that's like has the wallet and they're able to just pay you for that product there and then. There is other influences when it goes into any deal. So whether it's a huge, large multinational, it's procurement, it's the actual, it's the CIO, it's the CEO in many instances, depending on your product. So from my experience, like maybe the lack of a superpower, but maybe like the skill that I've tried to refine is just networking. Like just the ability to build a relationship with people in your business and externally in the client business to better understand how to navigate your path through this sort of crazy maze in many ways. So those relationships really matter because then you can start to, and naturally and authentically those relationships matter because then once you start building that relationship, then you can help each other grow. And so whether that's empowering somebody to be a champion to help them be promoted or to help them gain a skill set. So one of the most important things that I really focus on is how is this going to impact their career? That's important to them and in many ways, or how is it going to impact them personally? Maybe they've learned something out of it and that sometimes is more than enough. So provided that you can empower others to be their best selves and to show up as best they can, then I think we're all in it to win together. And then if there's no commonality in that, then going back to the vulnerability example, there's a problem in the connection. There's the mask that someone's wearing, or there's the stress or the pressure or the anxiety that is overweighing who they really are. So I think the better conversation to have sometime is just getting to know them better. The best leaders that I've ever had have been those that talk less about the day-to-day more often and more about the non-work day-to-day. Because a closer relationship you can have with that leader and then really understand you as a person, you are more than happy to show up and jump out of bed every single day to fight for their team. So I think that's one of the main key things. And I think going back to your point around navigating these complex businesses and multinational companies, the same applies. When I today meet with executive leaders of some huge global companies, they're humans too. And quite frankly, they don't get treated as humans. They get treated as big egotistical CEOs. Some of them are, don't get me wrong. That's where they need coaching from other mentors that have this crazy experience. But arguably, at the end of the day, they're all humans too. And so it's just finding a commonality and a connection with them that you can appreciate where they're coming from.